Alright guys, so in this video we have the BaByliss and T45 collab clipper and trimmer, and we're going to do a full breakdown. We're going to take these machines apart, we're going to test the runtime, we're going to measure the RPMs, and we're going to see how well these wireless charging pads work. And throughout the video, when necessary, I will be referencing and comparing these to the FXONE clipper and trimmer when necessary. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's talk about these blades. Both of these machines come with the metal injection molded blades. This is the first trimmer that BaByliss has put out that comes with it stock. So we have the clipper blades right here and the trimmer blade right here. So we're going to talk about the clipper blade first, and then we'll talk about the trimmer. Now, metal injection molded MIM process, for those that don't know, is an ultra precise way to manufacture blades. You can really do some intricate designs and things that you weren't able to do before. You're able to do fine detailed stuff like this. These are all oil reservoirs in the teeth, oil reservoirs here at the bottom of the blade, and in the cutting blade, oil reservoirs in the teeth as well, and oil reservoirs in the feet of the blade. So this allows the oil to not run out and stay in your blades longer, to keep lubrication up and friction down. They also reduce the contact area by getting rid of metal they don't need. So as these blades go back and forth, they relatively stay pretty cool. One other thing that this has is a green cutting blade. That's exclusive to the T45. One advantage of that is when you're zero gapping, it helps you tell the difference between the cutting blade and the stationary blade, because when it gets close, it can be hard to tell sometimes. Also on this, you'll see they have wiggle grooves on the back, another demonstration of the MIM process. These grooves, it kind of helps comb the hair a little bit and feed it into the blades. Also, it provides more comfort for the customer. And one other thing about these blades is that they open up to cut a little bit longer than a wall would or most other machines. So you're gonna have a longer cutting length when the blades are all the way open. So if you were an Andis Master guy back in the day, this is gonna open up to like how an Andis Master would. Now we'll move on to the trimmer blade. This is what I was excited about the most about this machine, was this blade. Again, it has oil reservoirs here, and it has the different color cutting blade as well. And one other thing that they did with this is that they eliminated as much metal as they could to give you better visibility when cutting. This is a gold FX, which everyone knows and loves. And when you put this on top, you can see where they got rid of that. And you see the screw holes line up. You can put this blade on all your FX trimmers. And this blade is sold separately as well. The FXONE trimmer did not come with a metal injection molded blade, despite the clipper coming with it, but the trimmer did not. So once I saw this available for purchase, I bought it, and I love the way this machine is performing now, because this blade is the truth. So you can get this. You don't have to buy the whole T45 set. I would definitely recommend trying this out. It's also even a little bit slimmer. Super sleek and great when you're in those areas like under the mustache. And it is very hard to get this blade to drag. Here's a video of me using the metal injection molded trimmer blade underneath the neck, teeth pointed into the neck, against the grain, with the grain. And don't judge my technique when cutting. I had the phone on one hand, and I'm cutting like an idiot on purpose because I'm trying to get this machine to drag, and it wasn't dragging at first. I had to reach over, cut sideways, and drag down against the grain, and I finally got it to grab a hair. So that's huge for me. When the blade doesn't grab, especially in those areas underneath the neck when you're doing people's beards, I am sold. So moving on from the blades, let's talk about the motor. Now both of these machines come with the DS1 brushed, it's not brushless, dual speed motor. These motors run at 6,800 RPMs on low and 7,500 RPMs on high. And we're going to test that in a second. So let me show you how it works. When you press power, that's on the low setting. You hold down the T45 button and it'll kick up to the higher setting. Turn it off and you turn it back on. It will be on whatever setting you left it on. And the same thing goes for the trimmer. So let's test the RPMs and see what we get. Clipper on low speed. So we get 6,500, which is kind of close. Let's try it on high speed. So we're at 7,300, pretty close, not exactly there. Let's see how the trimmer does. Trimmer on low speed. So we're getting about 6,200, kind of far away from the 6,800 that we should be getting. So let's see what we get with the trimmer on the high speed. So we get up to 7,000. So even though some of the RPMs may be coming in a little low, I feel like the manufacturers typically measure that motor without the blades on it, without a load on it, where it's going to slow it down just a little bit. Also, I feel like most of the time I'm measuring a brushed motor. I never get what it's supposed to. And let me use an example right here with the FXONE clipper. So this is supposed to hit 6,800 and it comes up pretty much at that every single time. I get the same measurement every time I test this machine. And this is a reason why I favor brushless motors over brush motors. Right there, 6783, you round that up, we're at 6,800. So that's one thing to keep into consideration when purchasing these machines, is that it does have a brushed motor. Definitely not a fan of a brushed motor, because we are professionals. If you go to Home Depot and you work in construction, are you buying a tool that's not brushless? So enough of that. Let's talk about the speeds. Now, I do find myself using it on the lower speed. When I'm fading and I'm detailing a fade, I'll keep it at the lower speed. And I actually do ramp it up to the higher speed if I have somebody with thick hair and I'm going through bulk. And when I first saw the 2-speed machines out there, like the JRL and the TPOB, I was like, who the hell is going to use that? You know, you just put that thing to the max and let's go. But this machine actually made me use it. So I can't really knock the 2-speed motors anymore, in my own opinion. The trimmer, the low speed, I don't even use it. I don't find a use for it. Battery time. Now with the clipper, it has 2 batteries in here, dual battery system. That's part of the reason why it has this oval shape, but we'll get into that when we talk about the body. With those 2 batteries, you're supposed to get up to 4 hours of runtime. So let's check it out. All right, so we got the clipper here, 100% battery. You'll see I have it on the low speed setting. So we're gonna throw it in the clamp, get it started, and see how much runtime we get with these batteries and if we could hit 4 hours. All right, so we got 3 hours and 38 minutes. Let's see how the clipper does when it's on the high speed. So high speed is set. Let's put it in the clamp, let it run, and we're gonna see how long the battery lasts on the high speed setting. All right, so we got 2 hours and 58 minutes with the clipper on a high speed. With the trimmer, you have 1 battery in here and you're supposed to get up to 3 hours of runtime. All right, you'll see 100% battery on the trimmer, low speed setting. Let's throw it in the clamp, see how it does. right, so we got 3 hours and 14 minutes over than what we expected. Let's see how it performs when we have the trimmer set to the high speed. Clamped up, ready to roll, start the test. Okay, 2 hours and 19 minutes on the high speed for the trimmer. Not too bad performance. I would say the battery performance is pretty true. You have 3 ways to charge these machines. USB-C, the traditional FX cord, which you probably have already, and the wireless charging. So the way this wireless charging works is you see this little step down on the back of the machines. So you slide it down and let it connect. So let me show you how these pads light up. They have an LED border around them that lights up, and it's hard to see with the lights I have on now. So I'm going to turn the lights off so you can check it out. It's actually a really cool look. So again, you take the machine, slide it down, lights up, and you'll see you have the percentage LED indicator screen, which tells you exactly how much battery you have left. And these will get a little warm when they're charging, which it says is totally normal in the instruction booklet. I actually read the instruction booklet to try to give you guys everything I could when it comes to these machines. One other thing about this is good for like a drawer system. If you're somebody that puts your machines in a drawer, this is a cool low pro system where you could drop them in the drawer and just have them charging up, chilling. Now, one other feature with these charging pads is that if you have your machine on and you place it down on the charging pad, it will automatically shut off. It may vibrate around a little bit, but it does work. Okay, let's put some powder on the charging pads. Let's throw some hair on top of the charging pads as well, because these things could be sensitive and I want to see how sensitive they actually are. So we're going to put some oil sheen on there as well. We're going to seal it all on nice with some hairspray, and why not throw some disinfectant on there as well, and let's see if this thing can still charge. Boom, it's still charging. That light flickering is a camera thing. It's not flickering in real time. And even with me moving the hair down to more of the contact section, it is still charging. Now, one other tip that's battery related is if you want to check the percentage of the battery without turning the machine on, you press the T45 and the power button at the same time, and it displays how much battery you have left without turning on. So now moving on to the ergonomics of this machine. Both of them were inspired by a paint roller and a Logitech mouse because they were going for ultimate comfort with the machine. And they did a pretty good job. This machine definitely feels nice. It has the thumb indentation up here. Me personally, I don't hold my clipper that choked up. My thumb's usually down here when I'm cutting. Contoured on the side for a nice grip. When you flip it over, it has the finger grooves, and it has a rubber grip that wraps around the side of the body. And the one thing that everyone agrees upon is this flick lever. Great looking flick lever. Can't miss it. Even has a little grip on it. And I think everyone's a fan of this lever. And I think you're going to see other clipper companies pay attention to their levers a little bit more. Because like Sean Cuts Hair said in one of his videos, this is the most used part on the machine. And they have a little touch of the T45 green on the screw. Now, people think this machine is bigger than it is. This is the FXONE in comparison. This is actually a very compact design. And when you put the FXONE on top of it, it's an eclipse. So how wide do you think this machine actually is? It just has an ovalized shape, like I said before, because it has the 2 batteries in here. All right, so let's talk about the body shape on the trimmer. And we're going to get into this reverse blade in a second. But it has the same thing, the finger indentation, contours on the side, rubber grip around the back, hair pocket door for you to get in there and clean out, magnetic. Now let's talk about this reverse blade. Now, the purpose of this is so you can pick it up and get right to your shape-ups. It's designed to be a shape-up machine, primarily. When I was using this to bald out fades and stuff, the power button is right on the back, which is good because you could press it, but I did shut it off a couple times, not a lot, when I was fading out, especially when I was going high, I would turn it off. So that may be a deal breaker for you. But Being that it's reversed, I will say that this is the most comfortable grip and the grip I felt like I've had the most control with shape ups with this machine. And when you mix it in with that blade, I was never someone that had a designated machine just for shape ups, but this might change that. All right, so let's check the weight of these machines. T45 clipper, 11.5 ounces, compared to the FX1 with the battery in it, 12.9 ounces. So lighter than the FX1, and it has 2 batteries in it. T45 trimmer, 7.7 ounces, compared to the FX1 trimmer with the battery in it, 8.5 ounces. So it's lighter than the FX1. All right, so let's see how the T45 clipper comes in with sound on the low setting. About 73 decibels. Now let's check it out on the high setting. So coming in at about 75 decibels, and let's see how it compares to the FX1, which is 6,800 RPMs. This is 6,800 RPMs on the low speed, the low setting. FX1 coming in at about 68, 69 today. It's running quiet today. Okay, now let's see how loud the T45 trimmer is on low. So about 77 decibels. Let's see how it is on high. So coming in at about 80 decibels. Let's see how it compares to the FX1 trimmer with the metal injection molded blade as well. FX1 trimmer coming in at 84 decibels and definitely noticeably louder. So now let's talk about the price of these machines. The T45 clipper is $199.99 at the time of this video, and the trimmer is $179.99 at the time of this video. And when it comes to accessories, they both come with a charging pad. If you get a pair of these machines, you should get a pair of charging pads with it. Now let's get into some of the accessories that come with the T45 clipper. So some of the usual things that we're used to: oil, clean out brush, blade cover, keychain screwdriver, extra cam follower for when your machine gets too loud, you replace this, USB charging brick, USB to USB-C charging cord, and 6 guards. They go from half, 1, 1.5, 2, 3, 4. These guards may be different to some of the guards that we're all used to using, but these kind of have been around because these were inspired by the Andis Premium Guard set. So you can see how much they're alike. BaByliss and T45 trimmed out some of the plastic to make it nice and slim, to feel like you're as close to the hair and head as possible. Now, will the Andis guard fit on the T45? No, because pretty much Andis only fits on Andis because they use a different size blade. So one other thing you'll see different about these guards, both of these are number 4, is that the teeth aren't as long on the BaByliss T45 guards. And you'll see it on the number 2. And the good thing about this is that you can get closer to areas where you don't want to pick hair out. Meaning, like if somebody has a man bun and they get a tool around with no fade and you don't want to pick out some of those long hairs and wind up cutting them, this is good because you could get closer to that area. Same works for if somebody has a strip of hair in the front that they shape up and they have dreads, or if somebody has braids on top and you want to fade out the sides and you want to get close to that area where the fade is, but you don't want to pick any hair out from the braids. All that comes into play when you have shorter teeth. So I do like the guard system that comes with this clipper. I feel like it's had some mixed reviews, but I feel like the main reason why is because of this half clip. Because this half clip just doesn't cut that short. And when you're stuck in between this and the machine with no guard on it, it just makes it a little bit harder than it should be when you're fading out. So if you have this clipper or you're going to get this clipper, I strongly recommend taking a wall style half clip, because this just gets closer. They're both a half. They both say they get the same length, but trust me, they don't. This will get closer. So get the wall premium half, whatever half you want to use. This is the tight guard half. This is the BaByliss basic guard half, BaByliss premium guard half, whichever one you want. Add that into your clip set, and then you should be firing away with this. And one issue they've had with these clips is that because they've removed so much plastic, they've had it crack, but they've been good with following up. If that happened, email Tune45 and I'm sure they'll take care of you. Moving on to the accessories that come with the trimmer, you have some of the same stuff: oil, duster, blade cover, keychain screwdriver, all black, zero gap tool, extra cam follower for when your machine gets too loud, replace this, USB, charging brick, USB to USB-C charging cable. It does not come with the traditional FX cord, but if you have the FX cord that came with machines in the past, you can use the machine with corded operation if you do have that. And it does not work if the USB-C is plugged in charging. It won't operate with that. So if the battery dies, the only way you'll be able to use this machine is with that FX cord that doesn't come with it. So now let's take these machines apart and tear it down. And one thing I will say, don't take this machine apart. You're gonna have to get in here and pop this thing out, and it doesn't come out easy. That's why I won't recommend it. And you might not get it back on the same way after you take it out. But we're gonna do it because that's what we always do. I don't recommend you doing it, but let's open them up and check them out. So let's take a look inside the clipper first. So here's the dual speed motor, shaft, circuit board. You have the buttons up here. These are the two batteries back here. And this is where the wireless charging happens. Here's a look at the internals of the trimmer. One battery in there, circuit board below it, wireless charging. And these are the internals of the T45 collab. So my final thoughts: blades on both the machines, dope. Ergonomics, dope. Lever, super dope. The click itself could be better, but it's dope. 2-speed on the clipper, I can rock with it. 2-speed on the trimmer, don't need it, but it matches, so that's cool. The reverse blade, when you put it on the charging pad, it has to go teeth first. That just gives me anxiety, like just putting a machine down like this just feels so wrong, because how many times have all of us dropped it, hit it against the handle of the drawer and busted some teeth off? And the only main problem I have with this machine is the motor. I don't like a brush motor. And I know it says the DS1 dual speed motor for both, but the motor looks different in both of these machines. So they call it the same thing, but it's physically not the same motor. But overall, I do like the set. I think it's cool. I think they really set a lot of marks they wanted to hit and achieve that. And I wouldn't mind seeing them collab again and building on this design. I think this is a model that's worth tweaking and improving on. So hopefully this answered any questions you guys had on these machines between BaByliss and Tune45. BaByliss, a big corporation. Tune45, an independent company that's been serving the barbecue community for years. So if you have any questions, you have any comments, or I didn't cover anything that you would like to see in future videos, drop a comment and let me know.